Hi everybody, this is Odd Samurai, and today I'm going to be reacting to One Piece chapter 1181. So, I reacted to 1180 yesterday, and I don't really have any new thoughts about the chapter from, you know, just having experienced it a day ago. But let's see what happens. I'm just gonna get right into it because I have everything just very fresh on my mind. And like I said, I feel like we just get more questions rather than any answers. But who knows, maybe I am missing something in regards to the way that Imu has been acting or the way that they speak. But let's see. So the title of the chapter is God and Devil. God, I imagine, is gonna be Luffy going back into Gear 5, and Devil is going to be Imu. Pretty easy to imagine that being the case. So the cover is Carrot singing and walking over pan sharks lined up in the sea. That's cute. I miss Carrot. I remember the days when I was like, oh, please, Carrot for a Straw Hat. And then she got sidelined in Wano, and that was it. And she was just forced to become the leader of the minks instead of going out and continuing to explore the world and seeing the Straw Hats bring a new dawn, like Pedro sacrificed himself for to do so and help them on that. Anyway, I'm never gonna be over that. So let's start the chapter. That makes me the worst king in the history of Elbaf, so you must kill me to take the throne, Loki. Ooh, so that's what he's thinking about. He died at age 144, but giants live to 300 years naturally. It wasn't his time to go yet, so I take it you're the one who manipulated and killed my father? The one who suffered the greatest setback was Mu. Of course. Very egocentric and all about me, 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 me. Not having any empathy whatsoever. So Loki is readying up his hammer for an attack. Tell me, once I'm dead, my reputation means nothing to me. All that matters is Elbaf's future. Isn't that right? What the hell did you do to my old man? Ragnar Isuchi! Oh, okay. He's about to make contact with Imu. Imu made like a omen shadow demon again. And just seems like easily blocked Ragnar. And a big explosion happened due to I don't even want to call it a clash really, but let's say from Imu blocking it. Okay, we see Lilith and Bonnie feel, the shockwaves. Jinbei and Nami too. Are you kidding? He blocked that? What are those black flames? What powers do you have? Thank you for asking some questions, Loki. Oh man. Ooh. Yeah, the way that their hands got inflated like a balloon? That's interesting. Omen is my military might. Hmm. Interesting. They don't say power or ability, but military might. Hmm. Oh, Imu looking confused? You can turn giant? Okay. So the inflating of it wasn't just the arm, it was the whole body making Imu like a giant, kinda like Luffy does in Gear 5, since he can do that too. A power that lurks within all things. Hmm. What does exactly, what does that mean? But okay. Uh, they used Omen to block the hammer again, and then dodged it, and are about to attack Loki from above. Blade of Judgment, Nemesis. Whoa! It looks like Loki got stabbed through the throat with a big ass sword. Like, where did the sword even come from? The staff where the Omen was was I guess, yeah. The Omen demon just disappeared, and from there a blade came out. Oh shit. Hey, at the very least, I did say, right? Like, Loki, I think it's gonna last longer than everyone else in 1180. And he did. Uh, it is the nature of man to crave strength. Okay. I'm guessing, like, are they speaking personally from, their own experience? Or from observing humanity? However, when power so lusted after is too easily gained, corruption, choosing servitude out of self-interest, covenants, and the envy that seeks to achieve one's goals, the power of omen, these form the Trinity. Okay. I'm guessing this is not just Emu's own ideals, but that's precisely how their powers work. It's my guess. So Domi Reversi is power so lusted after that is too easily gained. Now then the Covenants is choosing servitude out of self-interest, and we show Harold there. Which I don't know. I mean, he wanted the reputation of giants to uh, become more positive than it used to be. But just the lengths that he went through, I do feel like it's in some part out of guilt for how he used to be before he met uh, Ida. And just, this is all something that he wanted to do. He was the leader of this movement. Because even when he asked Ida, she was just like, oh, but I like Elbaf's warrior culture. I don't think you need to get rid of it completely. But Harold did not see it that way. So it was, you know, more so for himself rather than actually truly caring about his people and his family and what they would want and what they needed. So, maybe there is some truth to this. And the envy that seeks to achieve one's goals. Envy, okay. So, to use this power, you gotta be envious of someone or something else. That's what I'm taking from this. This form the trinity of what we call domination. Yo. Maybe it's because of the way that, it's done in English with this specific typesetting, but like domi, and then we get the line there, and then nation at the end. It was like a dominated nation, which is what Imu wants to do with Elbaf, but also just the regular old word domination, which is, subjugation and control. Also, Loki just got blown up, so that's not good. Is this, did Imu always have these powers? How did they gain them? Did they start having this type of a mentality when, as the powers kind of like took a hold of them? Or is it because they got those ideals that the powers are like this? I'm just trying to grab anything I can to like inform Imu's characterization. Shall I give thee the power of God to step beyond all others? Oh, Imu thinks of themselves as God, not as a demon. So I was thinking, like, back when they first took control of Gunko's body, and because of the way that the powers are named. Like the shotgun or something, or maybe the grimoire thingy had the word evil or devil on it. I was like, oh, Imu is self-aware of how evil they are. And just because they see themselves as God doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be a benevolent God. It was just, it's just like, huh. So are you a god or a devil? Do they actually know? Or are they in denial of something? Like, oh, just because I use devil powers doesn't make me a devil. I don't know. Oh, Loki stood back up. Let's go. And caught Imu off guard. And actually managed to land a hit on Imu. I didn't ask. Go ahead. Huff, huff. So your power is God's domination? I think you mean a contract with the devil. That's what I'm saying. God, devil. What is the difference? Oh, yo, hold up. That's so interesting because, I mean, hmm, you know, oh, that's so interesting. Like, I'm just thinking about, like, what do we know about gods in One Piece? How are they portrayed and stuff? Because other than when Brook got sent by Kuma to that island where people were like praying for the devil to save them, that never really gets brought up anywhere else, I don't think. Outside of like Demu, Imu related scenes and characters. What is the difference between a god and a devil? Hmm. I mean, if we are to compare it to like the god Nika, then that's the complete opposite of what Imu is and represents. But by saying this, Imu is just completely rejecting that notion. Either they don't recognize Nika as a god, or they don't see Nika as a mm, representation of goodness, or they don't see freedom as a good thing. And that's why they're like, I don't, you know, so what? A god, a devil, doesn't really matter. Oh, I really like that. And you can even see that Imu's eye just gets all shaded in. So that definitely, I don't want to say rattled them, but definitely made them irritated or annoyed, at least. I don't give a crap. No one lords it over me. Oh, I love Loki though. Domination is the only true bliss in this world. Oh, isn't that right? Wait a minute. What? Mm. So Emu is saying domination is the only true bliss in the world. And then the isn't that right? It just that silhouette. It's gotta be Joy Boy. So Joy Boy said that, and no, wait a minute. I just maybe I'm getting confused. It just for a second I thought that maybe Loki is the one saying that, but the arrows for the speech bubbles do go kind of more towards where Emo is. So it just when like the panel after the Joy Boy silhouette, Emo looks surprised or at the very least taken aback. But like, why would they do that if Emo is the one who said that? Maybe because they just haven't thought about this memory in a very, very long time? Oh, okay, I'm gonna stick with Emu being the one to say it. Yes, I think that makes more sense. So they're quoting Joy Boy. but they don't realize it until the memory comes back. So like the biggest question here is, why the hell was Joy Boy saying that? Like everything that I've come to expect from Joy Boy is that he was very much a Luffy type figure. You know, that he liberated other people and gave them freedom. And I assumed that he had the same fruit, the Hito Hito no Mi model Nika. And he kind of looks like he's laughing as he's saying it. So could this be like a period of time in Joy Boy's life before he became a leader that represented freedom? Another option is that Imu somehow misinterpreted this. And then the last option is that no, actually, I guess all our all our notions that we could have had about Joy Boy were just completely wrong. And actually, both sides of the war 800 years ago were wrong, just in different ways. That would be crazy. I mean, we have no idea why Emmett and Tunisia are so apologetic to Joy Boy. And what is, that they failed to do for him. It did not have to be a good thing. That's just what I've always assumed. And Joy Boy also apologized to the mermaid princess that was Poseidon 800 years ago. And, just the easiest connection to make is that, he apologized for not being able to win the war and stop the evil world government from taking over. But, we don't know that. Just because Emmett and Tunisia think very highly of Joy Boy doesn't mean he was this paragon of virtue. But if that is the case, that would be, wow, their recontextualization would go kinda crazy. Because, like I said, of this sort of just rose-tinted glasses that I've been seeing Joy Boy through all this time. But would Oda go that route? I don't know. Also, when did this happen? By that I mean before or after Joy Boy and Imu went to war against each other. What if they were friends before? And that's part of the reason that Imu feels so like there's definitely some trauma there when they felt Joy was Haki in Egghead. Isn't that right? And yeah, the exclamation marks as Loki is preparing for another attack, but Imu is just all in their head. Whoa! Isn't that right? Joy Boy! Holy! I did not expect Imu to yell. Whoa! And just look how big their mouth is stretching downwards. That's how intense the scream is. Isn't that right, Joy Boy? Just the way that they're screaming it, yeah, just makes me think like, okay, maybe Joy Boy didn't fight the war with that mentality. And that's part of why Imu is screaming it so angrily here. It's more so of like, isn't that right, Joy Boy? If if you really feel like this, right? Because otherwise, was everything that we talked about or lived through a lie? Why did you change your mind, maybe? It just feels very much like denial in regards to Joy Boy changing and leaving Imu behind. Oh my god, bro, this is some great stuff for Imu. Yo, okay. Imu is really this chapter in particular. This 2 pages, no, 3 pages, 4 have done wonders for Imu. This is insane. Oh, and with that scream, Conqueror's Haki is going all around the island. But I'm just, I'm still thinking about Joy Boy and Imu. What was the dynamic there? I really do feel like Imu yelling this is out of denial, anger, frustration, sadness, maybe? Of just Joy Boy having shared Imu's ideals at some point. And Imu was never able to get over the fact that Joy Boy grew and maybe saw freedom as the true bliss in the world. Whereas Imu stayed in this mentality. And just isn't able to accept why or how, or just the fact that Joy Boy went against him. Maybe even because Joy Boy was the person who let's say validated his identity and way of being the most. And then it all came crashing down when Joy Boy saw that he was wrong. And thus came the war. I think that's what I'm settling on for now. But wow, this was so freaking good. Okay, so Luffy felt the Conqueror's Haki. Gonna eat more than felt this before. Damn, it's so heavy and harsh. What's with the guy's Haki? Can't win without a full stomach, more and more. What's wrong? Got distracted? Then you don't respect me enough! Oh, that was clean. Sent Imu flying for kilometers on end. And up onto a tree. You know, that kind of low-key reminds me of Doflamingo. When Luffy used his Gear 4 Leo Bazooka. So that's cool. Doflamingo and Imu definitely have some parallels. But yeah, Imu definitely got distracted. The emotions there got real high. Oh, cough. Now they're actually bleeding from their forehead. Oh, Loki turned into a dragon. I mean, a Needhogger. And Imu noticed that. Thorheim! Oh. Imu is aiming another omen explosion, probably. As they think. So, thou art back. And they smile, and the chapter ends. Well then. Oh my god, wait, there's a break next week. Holy shit, Imu smiled. Why? What does the Needhogger mean to them? But obviously, it's not just the fruit. Imu is obviously stuck on the person who used to wield the fruit during the Void Century. And that's who Imu is thinking about. They're not seeing Loki for who he is. At the very least, not right now. And I think that's really interesting. Makes sense. Like, we knew that, but still, like, yeah. Imu's still stuck in the past. and cannot live in the present. All that happened in Void Century is still very much always on Imu's mind. And they long for those days. But I get the feeling that their defeat will involve Luffy saying, like, stop living in the past. You know, all those people, they're gone. All those places, they're gone. And I just wonder, right? Like, what's gonna be Imu's conclusion? Death? Or having to live with having accepted that they're never getting back to those days. But yeah, some really great stuff for Imu this chapter. There was a lot to talk about, and it was mainly about Joyway and Imu's dynamic. But wow, it was just one panel and one line of dialogue. But that really got me going. We just needed one glimpse, and the dam broke. I'm finally starting to see, like, oh, like Imu doesn't feel anymore like just a symbol, but like an actual character that's being fleshed out, which that's what gets me invested. So yeah, very, very fun. And I cannot wait, especially after that little panel of a flashback, for Imu to see directly with their own eyes Luffy in the Nika form. I just know they're gonna get another Joyway flashback. But yeah, honestly, I'm pretty impressed that Loki lasted the whole chapter without being defeated. Like, yeah, I'm proud of him, actually. I really thought he was gonna be done after being stabbed in the throat, but he kept on going. So, okay, I underestimated my guy. My bad. That's it though, like, I still don't think Imu is gonna be defeated here. But him and Luffy could make Imu retreat, which would be the best outcome. Though, I still think Imu hasn't fully tried yet. So that's scary in its own right. Like, everything that wowed me was later in the chapter. But I kind of dismissed the one who suffered the greatest setback was Mu. And like, yeah, it's very, very egotistical and lacking in empathy 100%. But like, why would they say this? Like, in current time? Or just because, like, Imu and, the other 19 kings or rulers won the war, and the world government rules over the whole world. I guess it's just, I guess I'm wanting to expand that into being, about something a lot larger, but it could just be about, like, literally what Loki's talking about in the panel right before it, about Harold's death. You're like, oh, because Harold died, I was the one who suffered the greatest setback, not you. Meaning, like, the military might that the giants offer. But, like, what does Imu know, right? Why are they so hung up on the giants specifically? Because, other than, yeah, they're obviously stronger than your average human. With all of the strong characters we've seen in the series, the average giant is not stronger than, like, I don't know power scaling Katakuri. Like, he, very easily defeats Rodo, I would think. So, like, I don't know, I feel like Imu, there's more to it than that, but I could be wrong. So I'm gonna leave this here. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Till next time, see ya.